presently. My name is Grace Scollo. I'm administrative assistant in the continuing education department in the business and industries program.
And when did you first come to MCC?
I came to MCC as a student, and Pat Mastretta came into the athletic department and said he needed an older woman to help in the office because his secretary was out sick. So, he hired me as a discretionary student.
So he was looking for an older woman?
Yes. That was Pat. You had to love him. To know him, you had to love him.
Can I ask about how old were you?
I was 39.
Okay. Just like Jack Benny?
And I'm still 39.
I knew that. So were you working in that prefab trailer?
Yes, I was in a trailer, one of the trailers that did not have an indoor bathroom, so I used to have to go to the fitness center. So consequently, I locked myself out a lot. And every spring, they had to redo the floor in the building because the termites and ants would eat through it. So Joel would have to come down and replace the floor. And one time, my chair actually went through the floor. I would sit in there with my hat and gloves on in the wintertime. But I loved it. It was a great place to work. It was a lot of fun, you know, the kids and, you know, stepping over everything. And there was Pat.
Can you recall any funny stories? I mean, aside from the chair falling through the floor.
Funny stories. We used to laugh all the time. I mean, he was very funny. His trips to Florida with the baseball team, trying to get everything together, the raffle. They used to do a golf tournament, and they had a raffle. And he would start off very strict. This is very emotional for me because I love Pat dearly. He would say, okay, now, Grace, it's 5 tickets for $20. And by the end of the evening, he'd say, okay, get your arms, hold your arms out, and give that many tickets for that much money. So it was just a fun place to work. A funny story for me was one time I'm sitting down and I'm working at my desk and I see the maintainers' heads bopping up and down. It was snowing, and I'm thinking, why are they looking at me? They knock on the door and said they closed the campus, and nobody had called me. They did that twice. It was so funny. So they were great. The guys helped me, you know, do my car and get out of the parking lot and everything. So.
So obviously you worked in the athletic department.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the other areas that you worked in here?
Then I was hired by Alfred Carter to work as his administrative assistant. And that was also a great place to work. I love working with the students. It was a lot of fun. It was a very unique place to work. The job consisted of mostly taking care of problems that the students had. So it was very different than the athletic department. Athletic department was a lot of fun. The students that came in were there because they wanted to be there. In the student affairs area, it was because they had problems. So things changed somewhat, but he was also a wonderful boss. We had a lot of fun.
Now, when you worked for Dean Carter, was that in the low building?
It started off in the low building, and then when they redesigned everything, we moved to the area that it is now, which is the same low building, but above the library, the old library. So.
What was the first year that you were employed at the college?
It was 1986, and I was a discretionary student in the athletic department.
So in your 25 years at the college, what are some of the major changes that you've noticed?
I would say the buildings, the new buildings we have. It's just a beautiful campus now. It's wonderful. People come here always comment how beautiful it is and everything. But I find that it's beautiful and everything, but working in the athletic department in a trailer was very unique. You had to be there to really enjoy it and really appreciate the difference. I mean, I loved having a bathroom inside now. You know, so it was really nice.
But it sounds like of all the positions that maybe that first one in athletics that the most fun, perhaps? Or,
It was fun in this. Yes, I would say it was the most fun. I should mention also that we went from the trailer to a building that they called the M building, but we called it the Mastretta Dome, And we had a big sign up when you walked in that you could see it. And Tom Bevere came into the athletic department, the old trailer, one day, and he walked around, and he said, "Grace, we have to get you out of here." And that's when they started building the building. So and we had indoor plumbing in there, so it was really nice.
And that was called the Mistretta Zone.
No, Mistretta Dome. Yes. Yes, that's what we called it. So it was Pat's place. So.
Do you still have any contact with Pat?
We did for a while, but then he moved, was doing a lot of back and forth to Arizona and everything. So I haven't seen him in a few years, but we would have lunch once in a while. And it was always fun to see him. He was a great person.
Now, did you also have interactions with some of the coaches or student athletes?
Oh, you want to hear a story about the athletes? There's two, and I know John knows these two. Jerry Grimaldi, if I can name names, and Maria Generis. Pat used to say, "All right, get the golf cart and go down to the fields and pull the weeds." So, of course, the girls weren't going to do that, but they took the golf cart. They're gone. I'm thinking, oh, my goodness, where are they? They're gone. They come back like 3 hours later, and they come walking in, and they're looking at me. I said, where were you? They had gone down to Dairy Queen with the cart, and they got stuck because they saw a police car between a telephone pole and some wedges, and they had put this kind of curved dent in the golf cart. And I looked at it and I said, "There's no scratches. We won't say anything, okay?" So we just parked it.
So wonderful story. So why were they picking weeds? Were they like student helpers? Or
they were student workers, and that was when there was nothing to do in the office. He sent everybody down to the field to pull weeds.
No, did you ever have to do that?
No. But I do have a story. Doc Kaminsky calls me up after one of the directors' meetings and said, "Pat just volunteered you to water some flowers." I guess they had put in a stone because Christy McCormick had donated a lot of money, and they put in a stone, and they said, well, they can put some flowers there. And Pat said, "Oh, Grace will water them. I'll buy her a watering can."
Among your many other jobs.
Oh, it was so funny. And Doc calls me up and says, "Don't you dare water those flowers." So it's a lot of fun. Yeah,
so you really had like a multifaceted job when you were doing that.
Of course. Other duties as related. You have that all over.
When you were working there, were they still doing the golf tournament at the country club?
Oh, yes, the golf tournament, and we did the New England relays. We did the road race out of the athletic department for a while. Jim Belcom took that over, and we did the MCC relays. We did that, so.
And all that. Well, the golf tournaments come back, but the relays and the...
Yeah, it's track and field is not as big as it used to be many years ago.
Okay.
So.
Now, I think back in those days they had more athletic teams also.
Yes, they did. They had, when I first started there, they had softball, softball, basketball, women's soccer, men's basketball, baseball, and men's soccer. They had, quite a few sports. But then with each cut, they did away with some of the sports. So.
Looking back at your time at the college, can you talk about some of the things you're most proud of, some of your major accomplishments?
My major accomplishments? I have a certificate in baking.
And how did that come about?
I'm very proud of that. I talked to Linda Coombs and had mentioned to her, and I got to know some of the other staff. And they said, "Sure, take the class." So I started taking classes, and I loved it. Loved working with them. So, and I had taken some accounting courses, an accounting course and an English class. So, so I got my certificate in baking. Very proud of that.
Good. Any other stories or any areas you want to discuss that we may not have touched upon?
Working in student affairs is very unique because I didn't have as much fun with the students because when they came in there were problems, there were issues. But I did develop some good relationships with the students, and I felt that I was a mentor to a lot of them. And I also believe that my role was not like faculty. I didn't teach a group of 25 or more students, but I considered myself an instructor because it was one student at a time. So because I feel here at the college we are all instructors, we are all teachers by example, by everything that we do and how we interact with the students. So I feel very good about that this institution is a very unique place, because I believe a lot of us, without realizing it, can make a difference in a student's life just simply by saying, hi, how are you, how are you doing today? So.
Are you in continuing education now?
Oh, I'm in continuing education now, working in with Janet Alampy, and I really like it. It's very different than student affairs. I don't have the interaction with the students, but I do with the faculty down there that are in that program, and that's a lot of fun. You know, everybody comes in, everybody's got a problem. You just smile and say, do the best I can. So, but it's very nice. It's a lot of fun down there too.
Well, you had obviously the inside track on Estretta's gift for recruiting people to do all sorts of volunteer work. How did he manage to pull that off?
He bought him lunch.
He bought him lunch.
I'll buy you lunch. You do this, I'll buy you lunch.
He also got you involved. I mean, you were there on the weekends, and every time there was a major event, you were not sitting at home.
I should also mention, too, that I had forgotten that the wine auction started in the athletic department. And it was Peter Negrola, Glenn Lemire, Pat, Leslie Brown, and Paula Rahm, and myself. And that's where the wine auction started many years ago. And then everybody was recruited, and I mean everybody, somehow. So, and that was a lot of fun. We ran that out of the office for about 3 or 4 years.
When it started, did you ever think it would take on the life that it has?
Yes, I did, because of all the work that went behind it, a lot of hard work, and a lot of people worked very hard to develop it. So I knew that eventually it would come to this point, and that they would have to really develop it with people and staff to make it any bigger than what we had it. So, yes. But that was...
You had to be engaged in a lot of coordination.
Yeah.
These things.
Mm-hmm.
That was mind-boggling, no?
Yeah, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. People were great to work with. I really enjoyed everybody's company, so it was a lot of fun. It wasn't, I never found it to be a chore. It got to be too much after a while, and I said, okay, we need to split it up, because it was getting to the point where, with all my other duties, I just couldn't handle it out of the athletic department anymore. So,
Is that volunteerism still around?
I really don't know, because after moving to the dean's office, it was very different. So I couldn't say that it was there. I know there are a lot of people who are still very much involved in it, so I would say it was. But on my end, I know I always helped. When I was doing my certificate in baking, part of the class structure is you have to be there for the wine auction. So and it was a wonderful learning experience, and exhausting. But it was good.
Anything else you want to tell us about?
I never thought that working for the state of Connecticut would be as much fun as it is. I thought higher education, when I got here, was just absolutely fabulous, and I'm just sorry that I didn't start here sooner.
Did you have a family at the age of 39?
Oh yeah. Yeah, my kids were small, but I had children. Yep. Yeah, they were little, and Pat was great with them, and even Alfred, when he was here, if there were issues or anything. And he was wonderful working with the students. The students were always coming to see him with their problems, and he was wonderful with them, very helpful. It was just a very different place, so...